Hey everyone, Big Mike here, and I had an idea for a new video series that I really wanted the viewers to get involved with. And this idea came up when Terrence and I were talking about, the good old days of playing the older games like we do quite often. And we started talking back and forth about certain games that we finished that were really difficult, as is this case, as a lot of retro games are considered to be much harder than modern games. And that's a variety of reasons, and also probably a good topic for another video. But we started talking about, some of the games that we've beaten that were very difficult. And I'm talking about the days when, I know this is hard for some of you to believe out there, there was no internet, which is crazy, no GameFAQs.com or anything like that. So what I wanted, I'm going to mention a couple myself, and I would love for you guys to do like a video response or in the comments, just give me one of your, let's call it gaming accomplishments, or like, let's say like a game that was super difficult that you beat, that not a lot of people have beaten, or you achieved something in a game that's super hard to do. So I'll get you started here. So the couple I wanted to point out is back in June of '93, Super Empire Strikes Back came out for the Super Nintendo, and this is regarded still as one of the hardest games ever made. And listen, I'm okay at games, I'm not brilliantly good, but I'm not terrible either. I'm actually proud to consider myself to be pretty good at games, some better than others. And I'll be damned, I beat this son of a bitch. I could not beat the first Star Wars, and I could not beat Return of the Jedi. I actually got stuck in the last bloody stage. But this one I beat, and I was still in high school when this came out. And quite often, as the case when I was in high school there, I basically did not do any homework or study. I just played Super Nintendo and Genesis and Sega CD all night. So I remember playing this till freaking, it was like 3 in the morning, because I was on the last stage just going over it over and over again, till I finally beat this bloody thing. And this actually, holding my hand, is the very cartridge I used to beat. You can tell it's got the JVC logo on here. This is not the THQ re-release. This is the actual game that it still smells like the feet that I beat back in. See, the game came out in June of '93. I believe it took me several months to beat. I want to say I finished it probably late in the year, so it took several months. But I beat this bloody thing. It's one of my gaming accomplishments. Now, I was never able to beat Battletoads or try to beat Contra without the 30-man code. I could never do that. But Super Empire Strikes Back, I bested you. Now, the other game I wanted to quickly show off that I beat was a game that came out, I don't even remember the date. I know it was a long time ago. Basically, I was over at this friend's house, and he had a computer, which at the time not a lot of people had. And it was a monochrome screen, orange and black. And he showed me a game called Leisure Suit Larry. And at the time, obviously I knew computers were around. I had a lot of experience with the Commodore 64 and whatnot. But I was not introduced to the Sierra style of adventure game yet. And he showed me this wonderful game where you actually had to type in what you wanted to do. And that blew my mind. I was in grade 8 at the time, and I just could not believe that you could use this character walking around and you could type, like, look at whatever, or say this to this person, and it would recognize a lot of things that you would say. And of course, being in grade 8, hormones raging, I was typing anything sexual and dirty you could think of, and because it was Leisure Suit Larry, it was getting a response. So, if you guys know all about these Sierra adventure games, they're insanely difficult. The main reason for that is the games, if you knew what you're doing, you could literally finish them under an hour at times. It depends on the game. Sometimes 2 hours, in some cases a few minutes. They're pretty short. So the games are all based on, well, I want to say logic puzzles, but let's be honest here, if you've played a Sierra game, logic doesn't really play a role in too many of the puzzles. So they wanted to make them as obscure as possible just to give the game artificial length. So as I was saying, back then obviously no internet, back then guides and whatnot didn't really, well, at least the ones I saw, didn't really even cover PC games that much. So my friend showed me this Leisure Suit Larry and showed me what I could do. And it just came to a point where I was able to borrow this computer and take it home with me for months. The theory goes that this guy wanted to get rid of the computer pretty quick because it was probably stolen and he wanted to hide it out in my place. And I was like, I don't care, I get to play Leisure Suit Larry all I want. So I sat there for months and months and months and months and months. I want to say it probably took me almost a full year, but with absolutely no help, I was able to finish Leisure Suit Larry from beginning to end and get full points on the game. Because in Sierra games, every time you did something, you'd get like a point score. And you could finish the game with not having all the points, or worst yet, in Sierra games, if you did one thing wrong, just one little thing wrong, the game becomes unwinnable. And the whole term unwinnable state is something that Sierra just loved to put in their games. So here's Leisure Suit Larry. Now this is not the version I played back in the day. I played what's called the EGA version. This is actually a version I bought later when I finally got my own computer. This is the VGA remake on CD, and this one used mouse controls point and click, which was a lot easier to play, but unfortunately it kind of took away a bit of the thrill with being able to type in whatever you wanted. So being able to finish Leisure Suit Larry was pretty exciting for my grade 8 mind at the time. And when I finally saw those end credits and I finally got through the game without making any mistakes, I actually went to the computer store across the street from me at the time to find out if there were more adventure games like this, and the sales clerk at, I think it was like a Radio Shack at the time, or a CompuCenter, if any of you fellow Canadians remember that store, showed me the Sierra section, and there's Police Quest and Space Quest and King's Quest and all that. And that was one of the actual moments that made me terrified of PC games, because I picked one up and I didn't, I thought, hey, it's a computer game, it'll work on the computer, right? And then I saw on the back these lists of requirements and what you need, and you need this type of computer, this type of computer, and I remember just going, you want to go back to NES. But those were my two experiences there that I wanted to tell. So please guys, please do a video response, or in the comments if you don't have a YouTube account, just tell me or tell Terrence and I some of your gaming accomplishments, like whether it be it. And one thing I actually like about this is since we have so many viewers from like all different ages and all over the place, and male and female, there's going to be so much variety in these answers. I'm very excited to see what you guys have done. So so let us know, guys, and you know what, we'll probably do a few more of these. I'm sure Terrence will do one himself, and I'll probably do a few more. I'll dig through the old memory banks here and remember all the games that I smashed controllers and tables and through TVs, but finally beat. Alright guys, take it easy.